The principles of growth, navigating relationships, independence, and society. Question. Master, in a past Dharma talk, you mentioned that after the age of 21, even parents and children should learn to treat each other as members of society.
Last year, I experienced difficulties when I failed to treat my parents as social individuals, and since then, I have been trying to treat them accordingly. However, due to long-standing habits and a lack of study, I sometimes find emotions creeping into my interactions with my parents. At times when I try to act properly, my parents and siblings criticize me for being cold. How should our digital generation properly treat parents and siblings as social individuals moving forward?
Answer.
As we grow up, we develop through 3 stages. Until the age of 7, parents are fully responsible for their children and guide them 100%. After age 7 and until 14, children begin to separate from their parents. During this period, parents must respect their children's independence by 30%. This is not mandatory, but if ignored, the pain from failing to follow this principle will return to the parent. Respecting them by 30% means not making unilateral decisions. Instead, parents should discuss matters with their children. I am thinking of doing this. What do you think? This does not mean incorporating all of the child's opinions, but reflecting 30% of their perspective when guiding them. After the age of 14, parents must respect 70% of their child's opinions. Again, this is not mandatory, but if parents fail to do so, they will experience pain when their child struggles due to poor upbringing. The pain of improper parenting is severe. Until the age of 21, parents should respect 70% of their child's opinions while still guiding them. After reaching 21, a person is considered an adult. From the age of 22, parents must respect 100% of their child's independence. They must honor their child's dignity and respect their own views as well. At this stage, parents must let go and not hold on. The child is no longer solely theirs, they are a child of nature. Parents are simply fulfilling their duties. Relationships exist for fulfilling obligations, and if one goes beyond their duty for another, the resulting fortune will always return to them. This is an absolute principle because nature operates in this way. If parents have fulfilled their obligations and also provided additional support, they will receive that blessing in the form of their child's happiness. When a child is happy, the parent feels joy. That is the natural law. Until the age of 30, the 20s are a time to correct mistakes made during upbringing and eliminate bad habits. During this decade, parents and children should communicate and correct these issues together. Even if parents strive to correct everything 100%, realistically, they will succeed in fixing 70%. The remaining 30% will naturally be resolved by nature. This is the principle of nature. Achieving 100% effort equates to achieving 70% success. The rest will be handled by nature because we are its children. By the time a person reaches their 30s, the parent's role is complete. During their 20s, children should correct their bad habits, which may involve financial transactions. Parents may provide financial help, but it should be done wisely. Simply giving money because the child is struggling will drive them into further difficulties. When a child faces financial struggles, the exact cause must be identified. This experience will ultimately benefit them in their life and career. Modern education on character development involves understanding how to live correctly according to the principles of the times. Knowing one's mass and capacity and educating oneself accordingly will allow one to live enjoyably and with dignity in society. Some say youth is painful. That is a lie. Such words mislead people and should not be uttered recklessly. Why should youth be painful? It should be fun, enjoyable, and filled with hope for the future. If youth is painful, it means they were not taught correctly. If a child suffers, their parents also suffer. People say, failure is the mother of success. But this phrase only serves to console those who have failed. In reality, failure leaves an indelible mark. People fail because they were not raised properly, so they must learn anew. Society does not teach these things properly, which is why so many struggle. By the time a person reaches 30, they have already gained everything they could from their parents. Even if they have not received everything they needed, they must now grow independently and navigate society on their own. The social connections they make in their 30s will help them progress. At this stage, mentors play a crucial role. Older, experienced people serve as mentors, providing guidance. Some mentors may appear arrogant, but even that is a learning opportunity. Every relationship a person encounters is meant to teach them something. Nothing happens by chance. Every connection and environment is given for their benefit. Do not depend on your parents. If you rely on them now, you will face great hardship in the future. This is the natural law. If you have no choice but to rely on them, then you must repay that debt. If you receive financial help from your parents, it is a loan, not a gift. This must be repaid whether through money or by bringing them joy. Even small gestures like giving them a thoughtful gift and expressing gratitude go a long way. Saying thank you brings immense joy to parents and elders. When visiting elders, do not do so only when you are struggling. Visit them when you are doing well and express gratitude. Do not burden elders with your hardships. If you are struggling, you must endure and overcome it yourself. Only then will new paths open for you. Parents do their best for their children until their 20s. But after that, children must stand on their own. Once you reach your 30s, do not depend on your parents. If circumstances force you to rely on them, make sure to repay them while also bringing them joy. This is how we build a future based on the philosophy of Hongik Ingan, benefiting humanity. True strength is not about having money, but about possessing substance and value that society needs. Some say, I have no money. But look at the people around you. Your relationships are filled with invaluable resources. Your social connections hold billions or even trillions in value. People are not just connections. They bring with them intelligence, skills, and potential. When people enter your life, they bring all of these assets. If you claim to be poor despite having valuable connections, you are being foolish. True wealth is found in people, not money. Many believe that money itself is wealth, but money can be taken away at any time. Wealth lies in utilizing the talents and strengths of those around you. The more you cultivate your connections, the wealthier you become. Young people must abandon their dependency mindset. If you lack knowledge, learn. Recognize the immense value of the people around you. When you respect and nurture relationships, their power multiplies. Strong relationships sustain you. If no one taught you this before, learn from proper teachings. There is no other way. Through profound education, you will develop your own strength and clarity, allowing you to truly see the world. Do not equate money with wealth. True assets are the people in your life. When you develop yourself into a valuable person, others will see you as an asset in their lives as well. Young people should never lose hope. Opportunities are coming. If you do not know something, learn. The path will open for you. The principles of growth. Understanding relationships, independence, and society. This lecture explains how relationships evolve over time and how individuals should transition from dependence to independence while maintaining respect for parents and social figures. Below is a simplified breakdown of the key points. 1. 3 stages of childhood development, 0 to 21 years old. 1. 0 to 7 years old. Parents fully guide and take responsibility, 100% control. 2. 7 to 14 years old. Parents should begin respecting the child's opinions, 30% autonomy. 14 to 21 years old. Children's autonomy increases, 70% autonomy. 4. By 21 years old, the child becomes an adult, and parents should treat them as an independent person. 2. Adulthood and independence, 21 plus years old. 1. From 22 years old onward, parents must respect their child's independence, 100%. 2. Parents should not overly control their adult children. Children are children of nature, not personal possessions. 3. If parents have raised their children well, they will naturally reap the benefits through their children's happiness and success. 3. The 20s, a time of self-correction and learning. 1. The 20s are for fixing bad habits developed during childhood. 2. A person should take responsibility for their own life and start making independent decisions. 3. Financial struggles should be carefully managed. 3. Simply receiving money from parents without accountability can lead to further difficulties. 4. The 30s. Full independence from parents. 1. By 30, a person should no longer depend on their parents for financial or emotional support. 2. If a person must receive support, they should consider it a loan that must be repaid with gratitude and effort. 3. At this stage, mentors and social connections become the key to personal and professional growth. 5. True wealth lies in relationships, not money. 1. Wealth is not about having money, but about having valuable people around you. 2. Every person in your life brings knowledge, skills, and opportunities. Learn to appreciate and utilize them wisely. 3. Dependency weakens a person, while self-reliance and strong relationships create success. 6.
Key advice for young people. 1. Do not rely on your parents in your 30s. Stand on your own. 2. If you receive help, always repay it with gratitude. 3. True success comes from developing personal value and contributing to society. 4. Learn from those around you. Mentors and connections hold greater value than money. 5. Hope and opportunities are always available. Keep learning and growing. This summary captures the essence of the lecture in a clear and structured way. The key message is gradually becoming independent, while respecting relationships and making the most of one's connections and opportunities. I wrote the story based on the above article. Title: The Law of Connections. Kim Do-hyun decided to establish an independent relationship with his parents when he turned 30. As a child, he grew up under the full protection of his parents. And even after graduating from university, he lived with financial support from them. However, now that he was in his 30s, he realized that he could no longer rely on his parents and had to live on his own strength. With courage, Do-hyun spoke to his parents. "From now on, I want to live on my own. I don't want to be a burden to you anymore." His mother looked at him with concern, but his father silently nodded. "All right, it's time for you to take responsibility for your life. But remember one thing, what we have given you is not a debt. You can repay it by helping others in the future." Encouraged by his parents, Do-hyun rented a small studio and began his independent life in earnest. However, reality was harsher than he had expected. His projects at work kept failing. His bank account balance dwindled, and his social gatherings with friends decreased. Loneliness crept in. One day, he happened to help an elderly man on the street. The old man was struggling with heavy luggage, and Do-hyun instinctively reached out. "Sir, may I help you?" The old man smiled warmly and thanked him. But after setting down the bags, the old man said something unexpected. "Young man, you're going through a difficult time, aren't you?" Do-hyun was startled. He had never shared his struggles with anyone. "Do I look that troubled?" "No, I can just see what you're searching for. You're trying to handle everything on your own, but the most important thing is the people around you." The old man shared his own experiences. In his youth, he had tried to solve everything alone, but in the end, it was through the support of others and meaningful connections that he found success. People don't always appreciate their relationships and try to survive on their own, but our true wealth is people. Money and success ultimately come through people. After that day, Do-hyun changed his mindset. He started seeking help from colleagues and learning from his mentors. Surprisingly, his projects gradually began to succeed. His company started trusting him more, and he could feel himself growing. A few years later, Do-hyun became a well-respected team leader at his company. He shared what he had learned with his juniors and began giving back the support he had once received. Then, one day, a junior colleague approached him. "Team leader, I'm really struggling. No matter how hard I try, things don't work out, and handling everything alone feels overwhelming." Do-hyun smiled and said, "I was the same. But don't try to do everything alone. Treasure your connections and accept help. And when you grow, help someone else in return." The junior nodded, wiping away tears. Seeing this, Do-hyun smiled. "Now I finally understand what my parents told me." Do-hyun was now certain. Life is not about living alone. It is about supporting and uplifting each other.